Hello, guys. This is Peter Gearing from Geekhead, sharing with you my thoughts on the last couple of episodes of Supernatural. Sorry for the delay, work, all that other stuff. Having two jobs sucks. That's all I'll say. But there's 3 episodes I need to catch up on. Episodes 4, 5, and 6 of the current series. So, let's begin. With episode 4, here's my review. It's a boring episode, boring characters, and it adds nothing to the overall story. Really, it's just kind of dull. So moving on. Episode 5 of the season, big celebration, the 200th episode. And it's usually around this time in the season, Supernatural likes to do its silly, ridiculous, let's try to throw things a bit and go meta type plot. They've done it in seasons 9. I'm pretty sure I remember them doing it in season 4 and season 2. Season 4 is, by the way, one of my favorites. It's where they go to the movie set and they have a shifter who's pretending to be movie monsters. It's fantastic. So this kind of meta episode is a tradition. And being the 200th episode, they had a big thing about it. So summarize the plot. Case is pretty simple. They go to a school where a teacher's been murdered, and the school play is based on the Supernatural books from the show. So basically, it's based on the show. And in the past, something they've done whenever the book series has come up is they poked fun at the show's own tropes and its traditions. And they do that here again. You've got things like the actresses in the stage show who are playing Castiel and Dean being in a relationship, they're dating. I think it's them two anyway. You have them poking fun at the way that the audience like to say that Sam and Dean are lovers, which I personally find disgusting because they're brothers, but, whatever. And also, you've just got them making fun of the layout of the show with the final scenes in the car and everything else. And in terms of meta humor, it's pretty funny. I genuinely laughed a few times. The plot was straightforward, simple, supernatural. Go to town, supernatural beast. In this case, it's a goddess, and deal with it. In terms of that, it's a fairly run-of-the-mill standard episode of Supernatural. Kind of what you'd expect from the early seasons, which were all standalone episodes. To be honest, that's kind of what I'd say about this season so far, but I'll save that to the end. So you have a standalone episode that just happens to be the 200th, so they made it funny. And they also have some nice commentary on the nature of fan fiction in it. Final moments are good. Final moments are good. You have a couple of awesome songs, particularly a cover of Carry On My Wayward Son, which is a nice bit of meta humor when we all know that's basically the soundtrack of the show, but the actors don't. So there's a nice little bit of meta humor in there, and it's a good song. Personally, I'd say about this episode, run-of-the-mill, standard Supernatural. What you'd expect from the early seasons, and I'd give it a 5 or a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7, just because the final moment, which I will not spoil, really fun. And then we move from that to episode 7, and I can pretty much give you the exact same review as I just gave you, without the fun songs and without the meta humor, but with some genuinely engaging dialogue. So the plot of the 7th episode, they get a call, they have to go to a really rich house, and they have to deal with a mystery that arises there. There's a monster who's killing people, the people suspect the brothers, there's the standard difficulties, etc., etc. Yeah, if you've ever watched a first or a second season episode of Supernatural, you've basically seen this one. It's a bit of window dressing for how the characters are different now, and I'll admit, there's some sharp writing, there's some enjoyable performances. You've got at one point 2 older ladies, admittedly for older ladies, very hot. They're hitting on Sam and he's uncomfortable, and that's funny. But really, overall, nothing special. The monster is what you'd expect. It's a shifter, and nothing fancy happens. You just get more of what you'd have expected in the old days. You might notice I've not mentioned the characters of Sam and Dean, and that's because for the last 3 episodes, they've been in a holding pattern. They've not done anything with the characters. We've not really had any follow-up for Dean and Dean. We've not really had any interesting plot developments. We've essentially had 3 standalone episodes in a row that don't contribute to the overall season narrative. Very season 1 and 2. And I've said that a few times. This feels like an early season episode. It feels like a repeat of the early part of the show. No overarching narrative, no massive plotline. something the writers keep saying they want to go back to. And if that's your thing, good for you. Enjoy it, have fun. For me, I prefer the big plot, which, according to everything, is coming back next week, so I'm looking forward to that. It really seems to me this season is the season of wasted potential so far. Yes, we're only 7 episodes in, so maybe a third of the way through. There's a lot that can happen. Season 8, for instance, was looking pretty crappy until you had the Men of Letters show up, and then it just skyrocketed in quality. So, I'm fully expecting there to be a big upswing. As things stand, though, meh. And that would be my review of this season so far. Meh. It's not bad. I'm not saying these are bad episodes. But after the fantastic elements of the second and third episodes, we've just been in a holding pattern of standalone Monster of the Week. Fun, engaging, but not to the standard that I want. The show has grown beyond that. And they may be trying a soft reboot. If they want, fair enough. Get away from the massive meta plots, which could get overwhelming. But overall, I miss the big stuff. So, if I'm going to give them ratings, episode 4, avoid. It's like a 3 out of 10. Episode 5, like I say, is a 6, maybe a 7, just for the milestone. And I've been saying episode 7. It's actually, episode 6. We are maybe talking about a 5 out of 10. Now, that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's average. I'm hoping we get an upswing next week when we bring back Crowley, when we bring back Castiel. But for now, I'd just say for these episodes, they're nice as a throwback to the early seasons, but if you want a big overarching plot like I do, really not so much fun. So thank you very much. This is Peter from Geekhead, signing out. Sorry, wait. One more thing. What the hell's going on with Adam? Bring him back, please. You teased him. Now do something with it. Sorry. Bye.